Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game. Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hits. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Happy Friday, everybody! The second scrimmage of fall camp comes your way tomorrow. We'll be there at Autzen Stadium breaking it down. I say we because one, Mike Jorgensen is here in the Country Financial Studio.
It feels so good. It feels so good.
He's back, folks. Back for another year. You excited for football yet?
Yeah. I don't think there's ever a year I don't get excited, you know?
Good.
Questions and what's going to happen? Sure, that's always there. But, you know, college football is college football. It's the best thing that can happen in this world is when college football gets here. So I can't wait.
Well, this is the last weekend without college football.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that?
I have.
We're there.
Yeah.
The Big Ten does not have any 0-week games. But let's start with the fact that Picks will be returning for another Friday edition of Duck Insider next Friday.
Well, I got your text message, and there's no Big Ten games, but we're doing picks next Friday.
Well, I have some things to go over when both you and Jerry are in the studio.
All right, yeah.
Jerry knows a couple things. Look, the first week has a lot of games for us to pick. There's a lot of excitement around Oregon football. Yeah. So I didn't want to spend time on the rules and the way that we're going to reward the winners. And so I have my gavel. I brought the gavel to the studio today, and we're going to make some rulings.
You call that a gavel?
It was a gift from my grandma. Check that out.
Okay. Yeah. All right. It has
it's
meaning
like a prop. It's like a prop gavel.
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely not something you could pound meat with. You know, like it's not a tenderizer. You're not going to get very far with this. But
that wouldn't go well in the courtroom. So.
No, but you know, the effect is there. And so rather than spending time the first picks day, I would like to just get some of that out of the way next week if that works for you.
Yeah.
Also, John Sargent, the head of Hanger Management.
I was waiting for you to get to that. I thought that's really why we're coming.
That's part of why you're coming.
Okay.
Yes. There are. You know how you've often asked for a hot tub in the booth, right?
Yeah. Once or twice.
We're working on it. I got thoughts.
You? Who's we're?
Me.
Okay. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were including Sargent on that some way.
Well, but Jerry's aware, Scott's aware of some of the plan and the thoughts.
It's more like a bathtub. You can't put a hot tub up there. I mean, I'd be good with a bathtub too, you know, as long as there's a curtain.
So how about just a tub?
Well, then does it become like an ice bath for pop and water and beverages and that type of deal? Is that the idea behind it, maybe?
Well, that could be a use for it, yeah.
You could get a deep sink, and then there would be more room left in the booth.
Right, but then a person couldn't fit in it. And that's part of the calculus here.
So it's an ice bath then?
It could be that.
Okay. Where are we going with this?
Come back next Friday.
Okay,
Come back next Friday. Jerry and Jorgie will be with us. We are going to do picks again, though, but in all seriousness, Jorgie, I mean, second scrimmage, and the Ducks will scrimmage twice throughout fall camp. Game week is rapidly approaching. We're around the midway point, maybe just past the midway point, truly, of camp. So what do you think?
I mean, I'm the things I think about, honestly, when you want to talk about it is how this team begins to gel and come together, because you have so many new faces on offense in particular, and and the replacement of such high production on the offensive side of the ball, those guys need time to be able to gel. Offensive line, receivers, tight ends aside from Sadiq, the backfield, all the pieces that go together, they've got to begin to kind of play in harmony. And it's all going to start with game one, and hopefully you get 3 or 4 games under your belt. We do before we go to Penn State. They're going to need that. And they want to see somebody besides their own defense who's really good. And so those are the things I think about with these scrimmages, Joey, is how do these guys come together? Who begins to stick out? Are the quarterbacks comfortable? Is everybody somewhat comfortable? And then work out the little things because, again, there's a ton of production, a ton of alphas on offense in particular that you have to replace. And again, I sit there and I think about that, and I go, last year Oregon had so many alphas, the Tez Johnson, the Trayshawn Holden, the Terrence Fergusons, the Dylan Gabriels, the George James, the rest of them. You have to have alphas to match up with it defensively. And now defenses are probably going, well, Kenyon Sadiq. We think that there's some alphas on our team, but nobody else right now does. And so that's the type of thing that you're going to have to prove because they need to come to the line of scrimmage and look for somebody besides Kenyon Sadiq.
Here's what I'll say, and I was curious your perspective on this from the quarterback position. So Dante Moore was on the team last year, went through the wars, if you will, as the backup, one of them at least, to Dylan Gabriel. Poncho Lalulu is back. You got a center returning on your offensive line. How big of a deal is that? Because I feel like Poncho is elevating to be an alpha this year.
Well, to me, if you want anybody back on that offensive line, you want your center. Because the center and quarterback, obviously, are the guys that have to be in rhythm. Your center comes to the line of scrimmage and makes the play calls for everybody else along the line of scrimmage, or at least sets it up to begin with, and will make the changes there. So, the great thing about it is having Poncho back. The good thing about it is having Dante Moore, who's worked with Poncho and some of this other offensive players, throughout the fall. But game reps for those two together, game reps for everybody else together, really is so much different than practice reps. It just is. In front of 50,000 people or more, as we're going to see throughout the season, game reps are so important and they're so different than practice reps, and that's why we're going to get to that piece of it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the way the offensive line gels because, of course, that was a focus point after, a few weeks, few games last year. There's a lot of talk. A shuffle on the offensive line. You got to figure out that rhythm. Well, Will Stein made no bones about it a couple weeks ago talking about this. Offensive coordinator for the Ducks said, look, we want to hit the ground running and get into that rhythm earlier this year, and I think having your center back is a big part of that, especially when you're breaking in a few other, albeit new to the Ducks, but veteran guys on the offensive line, but still new faces gelling together on the line.
Yeah, I mean, you think about that opening game with Idaho last year, and they struggled along the offensive line protecting Dylan Gabriel early in that game against a team. It was a good team, but not a great team, and you could just see there were signals and communication errors and various things happening that as the season went on and that offensive line in particular played together more and more, they didn't happen and became one of the best in the country.
You talk about Kenyon Sadiq too. I mean, the Ducks have had some young talent that's developed behind him and in some ways along with him. But Kenyon Sadiq, I just will say this. I don't think I'm saying anything that I shouldn't say inside of the practice walls. He's a guy.
Yeah, he's a dude.
He's a dude.
Yeah, he is, and again, he'll be the focus of a lot of defenses' attentions, and their attention is going to be on him and some other people too. But you talk about those important people for a quarterback to have. Obviously, your center coming back, but it's your best friend in tight situations is your tight end.
Yeah.
And so, that's one of the things I really think that helps out Dante Moore is you've got a guy that you can go to, not to force it to, but he's a guy you've played with. He's a dude. He's got separation skills. He's got mismatch skills. He's a good blocker too. And so he's a guy, I think, from a quarterback standpoint, that's also what helps make a guy like Dante Moore that much better is when you have a safety valve. You don't want him to be a safety valve. You want him to be a primary receiver, but that's a guy, when you're in trouble, you can always look for 18.
I think there's a lot of pressure that comes with being a five-star recruit. And I say this, like Kenyon Sadiq wasn't that, as developed into this point in his career. But then in the wide receiver room, you have a guy like DeCorian Moore, right, who has that pressure, and you want to see him succeed. But the reason I say it this way, there's also guys that have been in that wide receiver room that have developed. I think about the Justice Lowe's, right? The Kyler Casper. So he said even we really hurt him being hurt last year. Mentally, it was tough for him when I talked with him on the show. But I just think guys like that have developed now, and there's a number of guys in that room, chance to prove something for a wide receiver room for the pass catchers.
Yeah, it's really a good chance to emerge. And once they start making plays, all of a sudden the defense is going to have a really difficult time because not only does Dante Moore at the quarterback position become more confident in those players, particularly a guy like Moore, who's brand new. He came in as part of spring practice, which was really important. And he almost looks like a veteran out there now, the way he behaves. But once you get guys like that, like Casper and some of the others that begin to make plays, they become the alphas that the defense has to worry about. You get down inside the 20-yard line, you got a 6'6" wide receiver, or a tall wide receiver, I should say. I don't know exactly what his height is, but he's Kyler Casper. He's one of those guys down inside the 20, inside the 10, get in the red zone. He becomes a target because you can just throw it up if that's what you want to do on one-on-one. And yet you got other guys making plays too. So it just takes time for those people to emerge, but all that takes is one or two big plays, and then defenses around the country that Oregon's going to face this year are going to go,
Well, success breeds confidence, right?
Yeah,
and something that Coach Lanning talks about all the time is success is usually accomplished with your preparation, and that's where, hey, fall camp is hard. It's supposed to be hard. That's why practice is hard, right? Because then it leads to how many times have we heard Coach Lanning talk about that? And every, Under Construction, episode 2, if you missed it, dropped yesterday. Encourage you to check it out, behind the scenes with Oregon football. But that's part of what we're talking about here. Like, how many times have we heard Coach Lanning say things like that preparation matters?
Yeah. I mean, it's huge, obviously, the prep on both sides of the ball. Special teams. I'm really excited for the special teams this year. I think there's been some improvements. I think Decorian Moore as a punt returner, it looks like Tez Johnson back there to me. You put Tez's number on him, I would think it's Tez, just because of the way he moves, his quickness, his speed, all the different kind of things that he does out there on the field. I think are going to be a big part of that. But, what I'm looking forward to, Joey, the most is to see this offense against a different defense than their own, because it's really tough to tell the level of performance of this Oregon offense when you're going against that defense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to get old.
Well, that's a real thing. I mean, you talk about stacking recruiting classes. On the defensive side, I mean, there was so much hype around guys like Mateo Uiagalelei, Tatum Tuioti, Blake Purchase. I use those three as an example often because they came in playing similar positions, right? Playing with each other. And now they're the veterans of this team. And a couple of those guys have garnered like preseason All-America type conversation, and Blake Purchase sure looks like he's just poised to have another, or could have a breakout season. I use those three as an example because there you go. Those are guys that contributed right away and now look like dudes defensively.
Dudes, there we go again. That was the word I had stuck in my mind. Is there's three dudes that you just said right there, and that's what the offense has to face every single practice. Is those three dudes, and Thieneman at the safety position and other guys, Bryce Betcher at the linebacker position. I mean, so when you start talking about the alphas this year, at least that we've seen so far, because they're veterans that have played and they're known commodities, they got more dudes on that side, but it's just a matter of time before the dudes all of a sudden show up on the offense.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a cliche. You talk about iron sharpens iron, but like if the defense that the offense is facing in practice is truly elite, then that's only going to make you better. Because I will say, like, I think about when you can rush the passer, it just does so much for you defensively. And I think that's a real strength for Oregon's defense. I mean, and I know I'm not saying anything that people don't know here, right? Like, Mateo Uiagalelei leads the Big Ten in sacks last year. He's back, right? Like, yes, getting after the passer is important. And it sure seems like, though, this is a team that can get after the passer.
Yeah, I mean, who was it that led the country last year in quarterback pressures from the interior part of the line? Derek Harmon. So you get guys like Derek Harmon and Jomari Caldwell playing on the inside like they did last year. It makes the outside guys just that much better. And here we go again with Amari Washington, Bear Alexander. That's what helps make those guys. I mean, they're already really good players, no doubt. They're dudes, like we talked about. But when you get some dudes on the inside creating havoc, it just makes their job that much easier. It makes everybody behind them their job that much easier. So I'm really anxious to see how this defense and the front plays and how the linebackers are able to flow and make plays, and that just makes the DB's job that much easier. So.
Well, and the defensive backfield, there's been a lot of conversation, right, about, well, there's a lot of new faces, how they fit in. But like you mentioned, Dylan Thieneman, Theron Johnson, those are guys that have experience, similar to the offensive line conversation. They have experience transferring in. Now it's about meshing. But then, again, you talk about guys that have developed within this program. There's a number of examples at the safety, at the corner, at the star, the nickel position, the defensive backfield as a whole. Guys that were highly touted recruits, and it's kind of their time now.
Yeah, like they love to, and the thing is they're having to compete for the playing time. And when you get guys competing, guys of that level competing for playing time, they just raise the level of performance throughout practices, which forces the offense to be a little bit better, the iron versus iron type of situation, and sharpening it constantly and that type of deal. The other thing, Joey, that really helps is anytime the season goes on, quality depth is always going to be a factor in a team's success and performance throughout the year. So you just mentioned it right there. Having the quality depth at those positions, guys that are vying for time and are going to get time, is going to play a role as the season goes on, too.
Yeah. What do you make of the running back room? We haven't talked about that. I mean, I think that's a deep group.
It is. It'll be interesting to see if somebody can really emerge and stick out on that in that group. That's just something in the limited amount of practices I've been to and that type of deal. Looking forward to getting back into that mode after a good vacation.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
How many fish?
But a lot. Yeah. It was always a fun trip. Always a fun trip. But for me to come back and say, here's the dudes in the backfield, there's 4 or 5 that are going to have an opportunity to play. And, I'm hoping one will emerge as the go-to guy because, again, when you have a go-to and a bunch of other really good ones in behind him, it's tough to defend.
Judge Jorgensen.
Yay, nice, thank you. Love that.
Nice work.
I can't wait to hear that. Just don't hit so hard that thing buzzes.
It probably will. Yeah, we do have a backup.
You do.
Scott's got one too. Yeah. We don't use it often on the show, but when we do, it's fun.
You could probably re-drill the hole and
yeah, no doubt.
Glue another one.
We'd be all right.
So I've already thought of that ahead of time.
We have not thrown any flags yet this year either.
Okay.
There probably will be some next week.
It's coming.
Yeah, so concessions preview is on Friday. And also, Jorgie, I don't know if you noticed when you walked in, but we actually added a new camera. So that camera on Friday, we're going to try it out when Sarge brings in the concessions. You can move the camera and get right up in there. So while Jerry's taking a bite, close up.
I was wondering what that was over there.
Yeah, added a new camera. It's mobile.
Good. Is it good? Oh, okay. You know what you should get in here is you should get, what?
A drone?
Yeah, get a drone in here and fly it around.
Is that allowed? I don't even know.
I mean, what's it going to hurt? It hits the wall and it tumbles to the ground, type of deal.
Well, it could hit me.
You should get a drone in here right over the top of Sarge. Of course, Sarge might get hit, too. So,
yeah.
Depending on who's controlling
Look, all I'll say is that next Friday will be fun.
It'll be fun.
Because we got concessions preview. Jerry and Jorgie will be here. And then, picks are going to be back.
Yeah.
But
and big games next weekend, too, that are, not Big Ten related.
Right.
That's what's going to be
We
fun.
do have 4 Thursday games during week 1. So, what we could do is make those picks next Friday. It's pretty far in advance, but we could make those picks next Friday to give you guys a little picks flavor.
Let's do it.
So
yeah,
I think we should. I think we
should.
I think we can pick the Thursday games.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
I think we should.
We've done that before. What else should fans know?
What else should fans know? A lot of changes out and around the stadium.
2-point Mo, baby. Woo!
Yeah, a lot of changes.
Another
out
reason
there.
to check out
good changes.
Another reason to check out Under Construction episode 2 on the Oregon Football social channels, the Go Ducks YouTube, because there's some new renderings for the Mo. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, I get excited every time I park and just walk across the newly paved and constructed street out there, let alone the width of the walkways, let alone a bus lane that's a standalone bus lane going down Casanova, Drive there. What it's Avenue?
MLK.
Well,
MLK's got the bus lane, and then you got Leo Harris Parkway is now.
Here we go. Leo Harris Parkway.
Leo Harris Parkway is
all of a sudden have my mind on the Casanova Center.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but Leo Harris Parkway is beautiful.
That's right.
I mean, it is well done, and as you come in, you get to look to your left a little bit and see all that going on, or your right, but mostly on the left coming from the west. It's a beautiful thing.
There you go.
Beautiful.
He's Mike Jorgensen. We'll see him every Friday now throughout the rest of football season. You ready?
Hey, by the way, somebody sent me in here, too, to get more toilet paper for the men's room. Do you guys have the toilet paper in here?
You know, I will say.
What? That's what somebody asked me when I came in. Said, hey, we're out of toilet paper in here. Are you going in to see Joey and Scott?
I got nothing on that. Nothing on that. However, I will tell you that if there's one place that has storage of things, it's probably in here.
Maybe that's why they thought that.
I don't know.
Maybe that, do you guys clean the bathrooms at night?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes we're here late enough.
I thought maybe they just grouped this. This group does so much, they just figured that's what another thing that
if that's the case, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, I cannot believe that you missed him when you threw the flag, Scott.
That was high.
What an awful flag throw by Scott. Just embarrassing.
It looks familiar. So
thanks, Jorgie. Appreciate your time.
Nice to be on. Thank you.
When we come back, talk about an alpha, Poncho Lalulu. I think he is one. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Under Construction, Episode 2 is out. It's called Building. There's a lot of buildings being built around here right now, and I'll tell you, the 2-point Mo is going to be something. The indoor practice facility, we've talked about it, and maybe I don't talk about it enough. It is going to be state-of-the-art. It is attached to the current HDC where the old practice fields were. It's really something. Better than most, actually better than all NFL practice facilities by all accounts. There's so many things the Ducks can now do with this facility. The future of football coming with the new indoor practice facility. Oregon soccer with a 4-0 win last night. Tracy Joyner, her first game as a head coach, goes a 4-0 final. Ducks victorious in a shutout. First win as the Oregon head coach. Hopefully the first of many for head coach Tracy Joyner. Ducks are in action at 6:30 on Sunday, coming up against Portland. Poncho Lalulu this week, Oregon center, the anchor on the offensive line. He met with the media in the HDC, breaking down where the Ducks are at in fall camp.
I know there's a quarterback battle going on, but can you just specifically speak to Dante and, what you've seen out of him this 2 weeks and how you guys have meshed together and, just some of the things that he's been doing really well?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'm just want to thank my Lord for this wonderful opportunity He's gave me for this interview. But speak on Dante, he's doing a great job. I mean, everybody in that room is doing a great job. Throughout fall camp, I was able to get touches with all the QBs. From whoever it is, all the way to the bottom. Dante's doing a great job of being able to speak up more and being comfortable with sometimes checking us out of certain situations, and as well for Austin Novosad, he's doing a great job. So our quarterbacks are doing a great job, and I feel like Coach Stein is doing a great job of developing the quarterbacks to be the whoever it is at the end of the day. We got guys.
Seems like it's been a pretty healthy balance between offense and defense so far in camp, whether it's offense having a good day, defense having a good day. How do you kind of, describe that balance and the competition between those two sides?
I mean, honestly, I just love the competition that's going on right now. Just seeing the competition going up and like the level of confidence between both offense and defense, it's amazing. You're seeing the growth we have since, from spring and then now into going into fall camp, and especially from the beginning of fall camp. Obviously, we start a little bit rusty, but, we've been building off of that and building confidence and, getting guys to be able to strain and fight through those times when it's hard.
Poncho, kind of speaking on that growth, just how far along do you feel like the team has gone over the last couple of weeks, and kind of looking back to even a season ago? Do you feel like the team is where you guys want to be at this point, and how much more further along do you feel like you guys need to be, obviously, with a couple weeks left until the season?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I feel like, most of the time we feel like we are where we are, but at the end of the day, I feel like there's room for improvements every single day. One thing I like about Coach Lanning, that they do a great job of, saying, 1% better, getting better every single day, not being comfortable, but being comfortable and uncomfortable, if you get what I'm saying. Being able to just fight through that, just not being lackadaisical and stuff like that.
Poncho, where are you better just at the parts of your job between the lines? We talked about leadership before, but I'm talking about just like front identification, box counts, O-line calls, and all those things that just go into playing your position specifically. Where are you better today than you were at the end of last season and a year ago when you were going to be a starter?
I feel like I've gotten better at leadership, honestly, and like you said, box identification, being confident in the playbook, being able to understand, when we get in this type of certain situation, like what are we going to check into, and just being able to have that conversation, like with some of the skills. I like recently what I've been doing is trying to learn formations and trying to learn the routes. Being able to understand, what their job is, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure everybody's doing their job, and I want to know their job as well.
You haven't been shy about wanting to follow in the footsteps of JPJ and try and continue the legacy that he built here. I was curious if you've been able to talk to him or kind of pick his brain over the past offseason, the past year, and kind of learn what he.
Yeah, I've been like, I talk to JPJ here and there. Obviously he's a busy man. Shout out to JPJ. I'm obviously, I'm filling in big steps. I've been saying that, the legacy he left. I got to fill in some big shoes. Bringing that Remington back home. So that's the main thing that's on my mind. That's the main goal. But at the end of the day, I'm more of a team player. So as long as the team success go, I know my success will come too.
Yesterday, Coach Terry said coming off of the scrimmage, it was all about reevaluating, just seeing where you guys were, being a leader on the line. Talk to me about where you evaluate the line as a whole and what you guys are looking towards coming towards the rest of the fall camp.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we go to the doctor every day. Every week after every game. So coming off of that scrimmage, I think, like you said, reevaluating, seeing where the guys at. I feel like the biggest thing as an offensive line unit, we're confident. We know what we're doing. We know our job. But I just feel like just having that juice, just being able to have more guys be vocal, not just me on the line. Getting guys like Isaiah World, Emmanuel, and Harkey, and everybody else. Getting them to be able to speak up. They're coming in from a different school. Still trying to smooth their way in, but. I tell everybody in the line sometimes, like, you guys can speak up. We're the big boys at the end of the day, and we're the one that get the action going, and they're gonna follow us. Whatever they see us doing, they're gonna feel away.
You touched on the leadership. How are you helping whoever it is at quarterback know the calls, understand the defense? Like, what's that back and forth, whether it's on the field or in the film room? How is that leadership progressing with you right now? I
mean, yeah, it's been progressing good lately. Sometimes I sit by Austin Novosad or Dante in the meeting room sometimes, depending wherever they sit. But, I just talk to them. I even talk to, like, some of the skills. Like, I do, like, Malik Benson. Like, I would ask him, oh, what is that route? And he kind of explained it to me and stuff like that, and formations. And being able to just be with the younger guys, too. Like, a dude like Luke Moga, he does a great job. KJ Smith, all those younger guys, those younger QBs, they do a good job of just having confidence and stuff like that. And just sometimes I just have to remind them, like, when you go in there, don't have no nervousness, just let it out go. Just, imagine yourself playing back at home, just another game of football, but now it's just at a higher level.
As you get to work with him more in practice, what is it that makes E-Man special at that position compared to, I want to say, any one guard, but any guard? What makes him unique and a special guard in particular?
One thing I do love about E-Man is his physicality and tenacity that he brings every single day. Like that dude, like when we're in the play, like we are moving people, and that's what we're taught to do, and that's what our position is is to move people. So E-Man does a great job of being able to understand schemes. Like I said, he's very physical, and he brings that tenacity every single day.
Poncho Lalulu anchoring the offensive line as the Oregon center. When we come back, we're going to hear from Braden Platt, also the guy they call Dink, Dejon Riggs, breaking down more fall camp as we continue on Duck Insider here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack here in the Country Financial Studio. Braden Platt, let's talk linebackers for a moment. Younger player, starting to get more and more comfortable playing football. A little bit on that as we get to know young linebacker Braden Platt.
Just take us into your last year of what development has looked like for you and how confident are you in what you'll be called upon to do here in the fall?
Last year was a lot of just learning the game of football and defense and scheme. So, yeah, that's really what it was last year. And then, yeah, I think I'm ready to step into the role that the team needs from me.
During your recruitment and maybe when you first showed up, there was this impression that you were going to be both a football guy and a track guy, and I'm curious when that changed, and has it changed? Do you still ever anticipate on leading back into your track career, and what's that look like?
Yeah, so when I first got here, I was doing the both, and then football, spring ball and all that had started, and I kind of had drifted away a little bit, but right now just focused on like fall camp this season, and then hopefully one day we'll get back to it, but right now just focused on where I'm at.
Jeff was viewed as such a key piece of this team on the field, off the field, leadership-wise. Just I wonder, how much did you learn from him last year, and how often do you reference back conversations or reps that he had that you saw to get yourself ready for right now?
Yeah, Jeff was he was a vocal leader. He got the defense, like, he got everybody where they needed to go. So that really taught me what I needed to do as a linebacker and the role that I needed to play.
How valuable is it to have Bryce back in the room this year and the level of experience that he brings?
I think having Bryce back is definitely a key piece because with Bossa leaving and all the other guys leaving, a lot of experience had left. So retaining him was definitely a big key for us.
How much confidence did it give you and the other two, redshirt freshmen that when B. Mike and Dan came out at the end of spring and said, "Yeah, but no, we're not going to the portal," and then they didn't. That,
Yeah.
They had done it before when they felt they needed to, but they said, "No, we're not going to do that." They didn't do that, so they are committed to you guys, and that's going to be what it is. What did that mean to you as a player?
That means a lot to me that they trust that not only that we're going to keep growing, but that we've already shown growth. And yeah, it shows a lot to us that they're really committed to us.
That's Braden Platt talking from the linebacker room for the Ducks. One of those guys that, again, has developed, talked a bit about that, and has an opportunity here for some playing time this season. Now to the running back room. Similar story for Dejon. They call him Dink. If you ever hear somebody refer to a running back as Dink, it's Dejon Riggs. Position versatility is something that sticks out for Riggs. Getting to know a young running back with some wide receiver experience in the backfield, Dejon Riggs.
What was last year like for you from a development standpoint, from a learning standpoint, and how has that better prepared you for right now and for the opportunity you have this season?
Last year I came in late, I think late June, early July. I came in a little chubby. Started working hard, losing all the weight. I had the coach switching situation, but Coach Sam, pushed me. He guided me to the right way, and I got back in shape, got my body right, and finally, towards the end of the season, I got the opportunity, to touch the field, and I took it around with it. And this year, we have a lot of talent in the room, and we come out there and work every day. So I just feel like what I did last year don't mean nothing. We focus on this year. We just want to keep working from there.
How do you feel when you're asked to be called upon in the passing game, both as a receiver and in pass protection, which is usually a bit of a learning curve for younger running backs? Just how do you feel when you're asked for those roles and how you're coming along there?
Realistically, coming from high school, I played receiver, so I really didn't play that much of running back. But when I played running back, I just did whatever they asked. Playing wide receiver is normal to me, so getting a playbook, it was real easy, real simple. So them using me in wide receiver and running back is actually a humongous opportunity, and to show everybody I'm not just a running back. I could do more than just that.
Just curious, off of following up what you were saying, what is it like when a coach tells you you need to get in shape or you need to lose some weight or whatever? Like, did you think that you needed to, and how receptive were you to that during that discussion?
Coming off my high school year, I'm not gonna lie, I was chilling, graduation. I was eating a lot. Got here, and I got here so late that the next thing we had was fall camp. So I'm out there dying. Coach Sam got me going 30 times over and over. I kept messing up drill. Go again, go again, go again. And he told me, you have good talent, but we just need you to get in shape. You need to focus on yourself, get your body right and all that. So, I didn't take it as nothing wrong. I took it, you got to take critique sometimes. And I feel like some people can't do that. And I took it and, worked hard and ran with it. Shout out Coach Love.
You played more receiver than running back. I guess what sold you on the position change and doing it at a higher level?
It's not really a position change because I still be in the RB room all the time. It's just that now I'm more at the A position, something like what Tez did. So I'm more there running, flat routes, corners sometimes, screen plays. So I just feel like it's amazing because I can do more than just run the ball from the backfield. I can create space for myself and things like that. So I think it's good.
You talked about the talent of the RB room. Can you just kind of speak on kind of how they've kind of mentored you switching from obviously, receiver to RB, what sort of lessons they've gone with you and how maybe the talent of the room motivates you to be even better and obviously continue to keep the standard high?
Man, I don't even know how to put this, but, everybody in that room can go from T to A to Z to X, you feel me? So it's not really a huge change. It's just that now that I'm able to play another position is also a big opportunity. And not only am I doing it, everybody else in the room is doing it as well. But I feel like it's huge for our room. especially with a running back, because I feel like running backs are overlooked. So, yeah.
Kind of following that, just what specifically have you picked up and learned from Makai, specifically just because of his experience? It's a little different than other guys, maybe that was different than Jordan. Just what has he taught you so far?
Makai, we call him Mouse. He don't really talk a lot. But, my weakness right now is pass protection. But, I went to Memphis drill over and over and over again, and I just kept losing. And Makai, after practice, he seen me over there striking the bags. And he came to me, he was telling me, like specific drills to do to get my hands right, get my feet in the right place. So, Makai, he don't talk a lot, but when he talks, it means something. So, when he told me that, when I learned pass protection from him and my coach as well, but he really was the one that taught me the drills and stuff that he learned from Tulane that he carried on over here.
Yesterday, Coach Lanning was talking about how he liked the way that the offense sort of bounced back off of the scrimmage. From your perspective, what have you seen from the way the offense has sort of responded to the first fall scrimmage?
Scrimmage one was a little rough, yeah. But it's football. We go against defense every day. They know what we doing every now and again. So they had a foot ahead. But I feel like this week we attacked it. Coach Stein Sunday went to the doctor, talked about it. Monday came here with great energy. Now we're attacking. I see my quarterbacks really reading now, really making the right reads, doing the job, just like they've been doing. But now I see that they more into it, and I feel like we're like a whole different offense this week, from running back to wide receiver to even the line.
What's your process in learning to play behind just different offensive line combinations in general, but when there's that many more transfers in an offseason, so it's just different. You can't even go to practice last year and say, well, those are guys. No, they're 3 new guys. So just what is that process for you? What does that look like playing behind a bunch of new guys?
All of our offensive linemen they're amazing. They do their 111. That's what Coach Lennon says, or that's what we say as a team. It's definitely different because you have different play styles, but going behind them every day, you just get used to it. And I just feel like being behind. I like when Isaiah World pulls, because when he pulls, he knocking everybody out the way. So it's just amazing.
That's good. You like running behind a guy like Isaiah World. That's great to hear from a running back in Dejon Riggs. Coming up, women's soccer with a 4-0 win to start the Oregon Athletics season 1-0. We've got that for you. Also, some news and notes, touchdowns benefiting the community. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. So good to see you.
Doug Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. And speaking of our friends at OnPoint, Touchdowns for Teachers is back for another year. This is one of my favorite initiatives that we do around the Oregon Sports Network, Oregon Athletics, and essentially, here's what it is. Ducks score touchdowns. OnPoint donates money to the Eugene Education Foundation, supporting local teachers. Pretty cool. We got more details from our friend Dane Sorensen with OnPoint. One of the best things that we talk about at the end of every home football game is how many touchdowns the Ducks score. And it's not just because that means the Ducks win. It means that our friends at OnPoint Community Credit Union are actually donating money to help teachers and students in the area. And I wanted to shed some light on that today. Dane Sorensen is our guest. He's back for another year. You made the long trek from the Coburg Road branch of OnPoint to get here.
It was a solid 6 minutes. Maybe I got to 8 with construction, but
yeah, I hear you.
Tough.
I hear you. So that's why you drew the straw to come hang out with us, because you were the shortest drive, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, besides the fact that you guys are a ton of fun, we love to come. So.
Thank you. That's nice. We paid him a lot of money to say that. Everyone, just remember, if you're ever going around and you see Dane at a game, or if you see him at the Coburg Road branch, just know that Duck Insider appreciates your support, so thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So, okay, tell fans a little bit about last year's success with the program, Touchdowns for Teachers, and the plan for this year from y'all.
Yeah. Touchdowns for Teachers is one of the favorite things that OnPoint does here for the local community. Supports the Eugene Education Foundation. So every touchdown, we give $1,000 per touchdown per home game. Right. Last year, 35 touchdowns meant $35,000 for local teachers and schools. That was pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're super excited to come back and do it again this year. They make a big impact, and we're big believers in that educational foundation.
To that point, just the impact that it has, I'll just say, as the husband of a teacher, like I get it. I mean, the amount of her own money that she has spent in her
That's
classroom,
crazy.
I get it. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, we're glad to be a part of it and to partner with the Education Foundation to support that. They have been around for going on 35, 40 years, and each year they're serving the 16,000 students that are here in the county with up to like $1 million in grants, which is insane for our area. And like you said, those teachers they're buying supplies out of their own pocket. They're helping fund field trips. They're doing that stuff because they love teaching kids, right? And so we feel like it's something that we should jump on board with in the community and support those teachers.
Well, an important context here for those that are not familiar with the presenting sponsor of our show. There's a reason that the OnPoint logos are behind me. So thanks for the support of that, but also to extend beyond that, there's an important context here as to why education is valuable to your institution.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not only is it's kind of a no-brainer, right, to support kids in education, but it's really near and dear to our hearts because of where we were formed. So 1932, we're 90-plus years. We started as Portland Teachers Credit Union, and so our roots were really, 16 teachers in an empty hallway and a shoebox. It's always a shoebox with credit unions, right? And pool their money and to support other teachers,
Cool.
and kind of just slowly expanded past that. You don't have to be a teacher anymore to be a part of OnPoint, for the last 25 plus years, but it's still very much in our DNA and who we are. Because we really have a strong belief, which aligns so well with the Education Foundation, that if we do what we can to support students and help them on that journey and that path to be successful as students, we can really set them up to have a great future financially and just successful-wise. So it's super fulfilling to be a part of that mission.
OnPoint was the presenting sponsor for the show when I took over hosting. And to put a face on this from me, like when I dove in, right, and learned about this, I thought, well, that makes sense because our entire mission on Duck Insider, right, is to give you the stories of the student athletes and coaches. And I just think there's so much synergy with what you all do, what we do. So
yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for the support, as always. So here's to like 70 home touchdowns. I'm in.
Let's do it.
Right? Let's do it. Anything else? What did we miss today, Dane?
I don't know, and I think we've nailed it. We're just super excited, and we'd love to see us beat 35. You know, I want to write a bigger check every year.
Let's
do it.
Look, everybody loves a big check, right?
Right.
Everybody.
It's my favorite to bring the big check.
It's one of the best things at I think any event is when it's like, so here's this giant check. Would you cash the check? Like if I brought you a giant check, would OnPoint be able to cash it?
You know, as long as it had the right info on it, we'd do it. Yeah, it's got to have that account routing on the bottom. You wouldn't believe how many times I get asked that question. Like, is that real? Can I take it to the bank? I'm like, no, I have an actual.
We have like a real thing, dude. See, I always wanted to know the answer to that question, and you're telling me that it would be possible.
Yeah, if you look at you got to have the right numbers on it. That's what matters. But if you look at all the pictures, it's usually like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right. Or it's like XXXX.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. See, you learn something new every day.
There you go. That's your bank insider knowledge right there.
Thank you. See, look, we all need that. Financial literacy is important.
Absolutely.
I'm in. Dane Sorensen, hey, thanks for being
Thanks,
here.
Joey, man. We're glad
Thanks
to be
for
here.
making the trek. $1,000 for every home touchdown supports local teachers here. OnPoint giving to the Eugene Education Foundation. $1,000 every touchdown this season. Go Ducks.
Let's go Ducks.
Great initiative. I appreciate Dane Sorensen joining us and giving us some context as to why we talk about touchdowns for teachers all year long. When we come back, how about a 4-0 win for Oregon soccer? Stick with us on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Back to the Country Financial Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Amethyst and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You love starting out the season with a win, and that's what Oregon soccer did last night as we welcome you back to Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. A 4-0 win to open the season at Pape Field. Taylor Bryan scored 2 goals on her birthday. A returner, pretty cool. Was voted the team captain by her teammates earlier this week. 2 other goals, one coming from Mia Alamares and one from Lauren Kenny. Awesome stuff and a 4-0 win for Oregon soccer. After the match, Tracy Joyner got to be happy. First-year head coach, first win as an Oregon head coach.
What'd you like the most
that you saw out there today?
4 goals.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, this field hasn't seen that kind of performance from this program in quite a while. I don't know if you know all that history, but just to see, you guys have talked a lot about it being a new era, new team. You've talked about how you thought they put the work in practice, but doing it in a game is something different. So how fulfilling was it to see it come through that way?
It's great. It's hard to win games and it's hard to score goals. And so 4 goals is awesome, and 4 really nice goals, in different types, like scoring from outside, scoring off a cross, header. I mean, some really, really nice finishes. So really exciting. I mean, I'm looking at the future. I don't know a ton about the past, so I just focus on the team now and what we're going to do moving forward. So I'm really happy for the team and happy for us. And it's nice to see your hard work pay out in the field.
How important was it also just to get a defensive win, also too, another shutout to start the season? Like, how beneficial is it to see wins on both sides of the ball in your first ever game as a Duck? Yeah,
huge. I mean, I definitely am more known for being a very organized defensive coach, and so that's something I definitely pride myself on. And I think we actually have, even though it was a shutout, I actually think we've got quite a bit of work to do. We gave up a couple really nice chances, and so I want to make sure we clean up some things. But just the work rate in general, and what I really appreciate about the team is just the commitment to learning to how to defend and organizing, and that's a hard thing to do, right? Is just take what you're learning and then execute it on game day. So we're getting there, and I was really proud of them.
Your team didn't celebrate any individual goal with anything too over the top. You didn't celebrate the win in any over the top fashion. Do you want your team to believe that this can be normal, this can be standard, and not to get too caught up in celebrations like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of our kind of non-negotiables, is that we want to celebrate goals because they're so hard to score, but I think humility goes a long way, and we want to earn everything, so it's good to celebrate. We'll enjoy that, but I think what I told them at the in our little meeting after it was if we're going to swing, let's swing for the fences, and go big, go home, and we'll handle business. But really proud of them, and just feel celebrating is important, but just the humility piece and working for it, and as much as we want to be proud of our wins, we still have a lot of work to do, and just being mindful of that.
You said, go ahead. Does it maybe show a sense that, particularly for the returning players, that you got to understand what success like this feels like, and because some of the struggles they've had? For sure. And honestly, I mean, we've talked about our values, and consistency is one of our values, so it's really fun to come out here and have a great performance, but you want to make sure we replicate it again. This isn't a one-off. This is something that we have to make sure is part of our identity, and not that we're going to go into a game expecting to win, but we certainly need to have a level of confidence that when we step on the field, we at least believe that we can.
You had nothing but high praise for Taylor on Tuesday. Obviously, she was named captain, and to watch her performance tonight, obviously on her birthday, her team all celebrating 4 ways. How special was that just to watch as a coach and watch her have the success she did?
Oh man, I was hoping for a birthday hat trick, and so I got a birthday brace, and we'll take that. So I'm so happy for her. She's just such a bright light, and she wants it so bad. Not just not for herself at all. She's one of the most selfless players, but I think that she really took it to heart that she wanted this day to be really set the tone for the rest of the season, and set a good example for how hard work can pay off. She worked super hard all summer to put herself in a position to walk on the field really confident.
That was great. Taylor Bryan, 2 goals on her birthday. Great story for Oregon soccer starting out 1-0. Oregon football practice continues this afternoon. Scrimmage in Autzen over the weekend. We'll have Quack Minutes on the Oregon football social media channels. Practice reports on GoDucks.com. And Oregon soccer, second game of the season on Sunday at 6:30. See you at Pape Field. See you back here Monday.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
They showcased a sense of love that I never had before. I mean, he's not only my parent, he's my best friend.
At the end of the day, it's all been worth it. I wouldn't change a thing about our lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services,